Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I'm driving this. This is the Kia EV6 and you can see the key. This is to lock the car, this is to unlock the car, and this is to turn on the vehicle. By the way, this is to open the boot, but there is no summon feature which is there abroad, which lets you actually call the car towards you. The design is actually quite nice and attractive. In fact, I love the way the DRLs have been done. You can see it's very attractive the way the light has been done. It's appearing like that on camera, but it is always on, and of course it gets the matrix function, which means that you can be on high beam all the time and it will auto dim when it sees oncoming traffic. Meanwhile, it gets Kia's digital tiger nose grille, which is slightly different, and you get a camera here. Meanwhile, Kia logo right there. This is the panel for the ADAS functions. You get front parking sensors, you get a towing hook here, and you get dynamic swipe indicators, which look very nice indeed. By the way, this dynamic function does not work when you turn on the hazard lights, and this thing is like now glowing, but it does not glow. This is because of the 60 FPS on which I am shooting this vehicle right now. Straight away, let's open the frunk of this vehicle. Now, because this is the dual motor, there's just 20 liters of storage space here. Otherwise, for the rear wheel drive only model, there is 52 liters, so there's some storage space here, but I would not keep anything unless and until I want to cook food, because it is extremely hot here. Okay, this is where the washer fluid goes. There's insulation which is not needed at all, and obviously hydraulic struts. The design of the car is actually quite nice. I really like it a lot. Coming to the side of the vehicle, it is actually quite long, and because this is made as a pure EV, the wheels are on each corner. Wheelbase is long. In fact, the wheelbase is longer than the Tesla Model Y, one of its chief competitor, although in terms of size it's actually smaller. The wheels happen to be 235 55 19s, and obviously these wheels are more EV specific ones, just for better airflow. Of course, Kumho tires, which is a Korean company. I have actually used these tires in some cars, and they are soft tires which offer good grip, and then they smell very fast as well. Now there's a camera here, okay, because it obviously gets a 360-degree parking camera. Indicator right there on the outside rear view mirror, and gloss black finishing here on the pillars, on all the pillars, in fact around the window area. Of course, they should have actually given it a panoramic roof, considering this car has so much tech. There's a shark fin antenna, there's a spoiler which has been optimized for aerodynamic efficiency, and from the side it actually looks like a mix of hatchback and an SUV. In fact, sort of an I-Pace, but from the rear it is so much like the Aston Martin DBX. Okay, dynamic swipe indicators look really cool at the rear. Look at that. Have this sort of a beautiful finish to it. But what is this fake stuff happening? I don't understand. The light is also really nice. The brake light, the tail light, whatever you want to call it. Look at the continuous running light. Very tastefully done. This is where the camera is, the rear camera. It says EV6 right there, and you get this sort of a chrome line running around, and this is sort of gunmetal. Says GT line, which is a trim of the vehicle. There is the rear parking sensor. I mean, multiple of those. Of course, towing hook. Meanwhile, what is this sort of a thingy on the inside? No exhaust, of course, because it's pure EV, but you can see it's well packaged. Oh my god, I just touched the ground. Track temperature is 60 degrees. Ambient temperature is 45 degrees. It's extremely hot, thankfully. The clouds have come. It might rain, it might not. Okay, rear spoiler is actually very nicely done. So from certain angles, it looks amazing. I think it really looks amazing. You got this sort of a flowing line which continues here and then joins right there. Nice, I like it. This is where actually the charging happens, and obviously there's a lot to talk in terms of what the tech is of the charging, which is actually very nice. बहुत simple है. इसको ऐसे खोलो and push करो, बंद हो जाता है. I like it. Okay, some really smart bits, but something which is not very smart happens to be the fact that space at the rear isn't that great. I mean, space-wise अच्छी है, because obviously it's a flat floor, it's an EV, so there's a lot of space as such. But problem क्या है? Under thigh support. Oh my god, I can't believe it. Under thigh support is so poor. Look at this. Okay, this is like really bad under thigh support. Knee room and leg room is actually good enough. Headroom is, well, just about adequate. There is a handle to hold on to, height adjustable seat belts at the front, airbags everywhere. In fact, get side airbags as well. Yeah, so that the people ahead, in case of a collision, they don't collide with each other. This car has got 8 airbags, the regular 6 airbags plus 2. No AC vents here in the center. In fact, there's nothing here as such but hard plastic. However, USB-C charging sockets have been given here as well as here, which is a nice touch. Okay, scooped out seat bag, magazine holders, all that is there, and it says Meridian sound system. It has got a 14 speaker system. There's light placement here on the top, which I can just shut like this if I so wish. 3 adjustable headrests, which means everyone gets a head. You get a center armrest with twin cup holders. That's very coolly done. And then you can actually access the boot from here for longer items. That's again very nice and cool as well. Isofix child seat mounts. Space wise, I would say it's fine. Only thing is, because of the battery, the floor is so raised now, it's like a knees up position, not nice at all. There you can see the dashboard is clean but very functional. I like it, and I don't know why this thing is pushed kind of ahead the headrest at the front. So they have put leather. In fact, they will offer you recycled plastic materials and vegan stuff as well to ensure that it is not really hurting the environment with pure leather. That's also again sustainability bit. Now if you want to recline the seat, you can just press this like this. You can recline the seat 60-40 of course. To increase the boot carrying capacity, usko upar karne ke liye you have to again press this, which means I have to actually put the camera down. There you see it's upright position, and then you can recline it further as well. So this is upright, that's completely reclined, so rear seat experience could be better. This isn't a car for rear seat, unfortunately. I'm very disappointed. I never expected it to be like that. Gloss black finishing here, nice beautiful finishing. Like, Kia does a fantastic job in terms of design. There are no two ways about it. Okay, I like the way the reverse lights have been done, and the fog light as well. This is where the reverse light and the fog light has been done. Kind of cool. Let's open the boot. I press a button here. Power tailgate of course, and there opens the boot. Boot is I think 520 liters. There's a parcel shelf here which I will just shut like this. There it shuts. Okay, there is a 12-volt charging socket here, and you can just pull this lever to recline the seat as well. That's handy. Meanwhile, below here also there's some storage space. This thing opens. There's some mechanism inside which I don't want to get into at the moment. इसको बंद कर देते हैं, but lot of hard plastics. इसको ऐसे raise करेंगे ना तो और जगह है. So yes, it's a practical car in terms of storage space, and it gets even better. Let's shut this. Two lights there, obviously for the number plate of this vehicle. Now let's get to the front. For starters, these door handles, they actually pop out. I will show that to you in a bit. It has this function of seat relaxation. You press this button now, and there the seat will actually go back all the way. So it's not happening at the moment. Now it is happening. You have to keep it pressed or what. Okay, but before that I have to actually put this seat up. Otherwise, oh my god, nahi, kya kar rahe ho tum? It's going to get into that. Come on, sense something is there and go back. So that's another thing we have to be careful about. So let's just put it back into place a bit, move it ahead as well. So basically this function is largely called as seat relaxation, which puts you in the zero gravity position. It happens to both the seats at the front. This is the 10-way adjust, but hard plastics here. Proper dead pedal. Meanwhile, this is to open the hood of the vehicle. This is the fuse box, and there are a lot of buttons. Now this is to open the charging port. This is to increase or decrease the intensity of the instrument cluster. I think this is to open the boot of the vehicle, electric parking brake, and this is for the traction control. It says Meridian here. In fact, door pockets are lined, which is beautiful. And this is the usual controls for the power windows, as well as the outside rear view mirror adjustment. This is for the memory seat, so you can save up to 2 people settings, which again is nice. Nice material here, and there is a tweeter. Okay, now the important bit is when you turn off the car, you have to notice this. Okay, I'm just going to zoom in on the heads-up display. Can you see that? I turn it off, and there comes the Kia logo. So this is an augmented reality unit. Yes, the heads-up display gets AR function, which is amazing. Let's just shut this. Here's the key in my hand, and I'm just going to lock the car. There, locking the car. Okay, you can see the door handles, they pop out. Now this has obviously been done in the interest of better aerodynamics, and of course the outside rear view mirrors also come out. By the way, if you have noticed, outside rear view mirrors have the blind spot assist function as well. Kind of nice. Let's do one thing. Let's try and open all the windows of the car by pressing a button. Does that happen? Only the front windows actually come down. So rear seat passengers are not really welcome in this car, considering the under thigh support, which Kia knows. That's why the windows will roll out only at the front. There you see it. So at least this feature is started to come in Kia cars. Let's do one thing. Let's try and turn on the vehicle. Okay, which means I keep this button pressed. Yeah, the hold button, and then it'll turn on the vehicle. It's not doing it right now. So what's the drill? Anyways, forget that. This feature is an on-off. It's there in the Creta, Alcazar, Seltos, a lot of these cars. Now there is so much space here. There's actually a proper compartment for bottles. There's a 12-volt charging socket. There's a USB charging socket. How many USB plugs in this car? There's a USB-C here. There's another USB-C here. There's a regular USB. Obviously, it gets Apple CarPlay, Android Auto connectivity. There's this hook so you can secure your luggage as well. That's kind of nice. Now, let's do one thing. Let's open the glove box, which is decent size, and there's this compartment there as well. But again, lower half, lot of hard plastics. First things first, it's showing me exactly which door is open, which is kind of nice. And we'll do one thing. We will actually turn on the vehicle, which means I press this button there. Okay, just notice that. Yeah, that is check blind spots before changing lanes. Thank you so much for the warning. Heads up display is really very nice. Okay, it has got this blind spot monitor as well. So here you can see I put a right indicator, it shows me the blind spot monitor there, and the camera is very similar to the one which you've seen on the Alcazar. Steering wheel is new, it feels nice to hold. Look at the lightness actually. The horn is actually decent. Okay, these are the controls for the ADAS function. So basically this is for cruise control, and this is for lane keep assist, and this is to browse through that menu. So you can browse through a few things which tells you basically navigation, vehicle data, tire pressure monitor, all that is there. And then I can actually browse through more stuff. So there are multiple displays here, of course, and this display changes depending on the drive mode of the vehicle. So if I change the drive mode, I can link the theme of the display. Now again, very similar to the Alcazar, if I may. So these controls are easy to use. There's a drive mode selector right there, and these are the buttons for the audio system. Okay, you've got paddles for the regenerative braking, of course, and automatic headlights, automatic wipers. Wipers do a great job, lot of spray on offer. Now this thing does not slide open, you have to actually use a button because it's electrically done, and we are going to be opening the sunroof of the vehicle automatically. Khul jati hai. Panoramic roof would be so freaking amazing, I can't tell you there, and that's about it. It doesn't open any further. You're just going to shut it for the moment, but it's actually a good thing that this is slightly wider than I anticipated. And again, it depends on how you press it. Okay, you have to be really careful in the way you press, otherwise both will come in and out. That's what she said. Anyways, here you get a light and a mirror, but you know, light code you have to separately operate. That's kind of a bugger. Same here is the case. So we're just going to remove this. Listen to this. Oh yes, let's shut this, put it back into the glove box. Some of the materials are just amazing. Like, look at the design aspect here, and beautiful ambient lighting. In fact, this is again a fantastic display. So basically these are air conditioning controls, and I can turn these controls into other controls as well by pressing a button. So this touch panel is so nicely done. In fact, this also changes, which means let's listen to an audio right away. Audio quality is really very nice. It's fantastic. And then look at the way this thing has been done. Again, amazing. You see the design treatment. Okay, below the front center armrest, there's good amount of storage space. There's a wireless charging pad here. There's a key holder here, twin cup holders as well. And this is actually the selector of the drive. So basically reverse, neutral and drive. Okay, and it has this illumination as well. This is the button to turn on the vehicle, and there are 4 buttons here. This is for ventilation for the co-passenger, heating for the co-passenger, heating of the steering wheel, and this is for the heating of the driver's seat, cooling of the driver's seat. So all the buttons are in like complete right there where you want them. Auto hold function, this is for parking sensors, and this is for the parking camera. Let me turn that on. That is the camera. Now the camera is also amazing. You know why? Because it gets a 360-degree view. Look at that. Aston Martin DBX is here, and then just turn it around. The quality of the camera is actually very nice. The resolution is also fantastic. I love the way this has been done. And then you have multiple modes here, so you can decide where you want to see, front, rear, side, or you know, whatever. And obviously it gives you another display right there. So camera is amazing in this car. There is no two ways about it. This is the home display which shows you what is the battery level and what is the range like, and then I can browse through so much information. It's like absolutely crazy. Firstly, the maps are like really very cool. There's a quiet mode which kind of makes the car even more silent. There's a valet mode as well. Okay, you have phone projection and Kia Connect, which is the connected car thing with 60 features, I believe. That's the reason. And there's a SOS button and Kia Connect here. Okay, light turns on like this, very easy. Okay, auto dimming mirror, of course. Now here you get into settings. There's so much to explore. There's something known as EV. Okay, basically tells you charge data and all that stuff. But we get into vehicle at the moment. Here it's showing you all the systems. You get into drive mode. You can link the ambient light to the drive mode as well, and then you have braking, normal as well as sport. How cool is that? Then there's active sound design, which is basically fake sounds to make you feel that you're not driving something which is without a soul. Okay, no pun intended there. Okay, then you can obviously heads up display, cluster, you can change all that and more. But let's get into the light function. Ambient light, we go to custom color. There are multiple colors right there. I think there must be 8 or 9 colors, and then you select custom color, and there are like 64 colors for the ambient lighting, which is kind of amazing. Now, and this is a white display, you can also get it to black, and you can decide if you want it to auto change as well. So amazing. Like, things are very fluid because this is a double 12.3 inch curved display, 12.3 inch, and it's completely curved. It's just very good. Steering feels so nice to hold, and you know, left knee actually collides with this center console, but this center console has been beautifully integrated. In fact, everything in this car is kind of easy to operate, works very nicely, very fluid indeed. And I particularly like the fact that everything is right at your fingertips. You can see so much information here. This thing is really nice to browse with endless information. So it's kind of distracting as well, because you're like, oh my god, this is a computer here. Now let's do one thing. Let's start driving right away. It plays all this welcome sound. Okay, that's kind of cool. And as soon as you enter the car, the seat actually moves ahead on its own. That's also very nice. I turn on the vehicle and okay, that beautiful Kia logo comes in the heads-up display, which is very nice in terms of quality. First things first, we are going to be turning off the air conditioning of the vehicle, which means I press this and the air conditioning is off. We get into this mode. Before that, let me actually get this into sport mode, and you can see it becomes red. There are actually 4 drives mode. You keep this pressed, you get into snow mode. Others are eco and normal. Now here we are going to be getting it into settings, vehicle, because for starters I want to get the drive mode of the brakes into sport, and then I'm also going to change the active sound design to enhanced, and we are going to make it dynamic. Yes, that's right. Now let's do one thing. Car is already on. We get into drive. You can't hear a thing. And let's start rolling off very smoothly. It's such a refined thing because obviously it's electric, so electric vehicles are refined. And I get hard on the throttle, and you can see that fake sound all over the place. Now around the corners there is some amount of body roll. There has to be. This is a heavy vehicle, and then the front end gets washed out, in spite of the fact that this is all-wheel drive, of course. But oh my god, acceleration is really very brisk. Now I have to tell you that they are regenerative mode. So yeah, they are regenerative braking. Just ignore this thing which is coming right now. Kya aa raha hai? Yeah, something is coming on the radio. Forget that. Acceleration is actually very brisk. You know, it picks up pace with a lot of enthusiasm, and then we are going to go like this. What is the noise which is happening? Something is moving, Noren. Can you just check that? Okay, onto the straight, full throttle. Picks up pace very nicely, because this is a 77.4 kilowatt hour battery. That's right, 77.4 kilowatt hour battery. Brakes are nice actually, but you know, kind of has this nose dive in spite of the fact that the overall suspension is on the stiffer side. Now this 77.4 kilowatt hour battery results in 325 PS of power and 605 Newton meters of torque. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour takes just 5.2 seconds. This is the all-wheel drive version. The non-all-wheel drive version, which is the rear-wheel drive version, the regular version, actually makes lesser power and torque because there's just one motor that happens to be at the rear. Okay, here I'm going to get full onto the gas. We're going to go for the top speed of this vehicle. Fake sounds coming in. There are multiple ones which can be heard. This actually does a top speed of 192 kilometers per hour. That's where it tops out. Okay, and there we have topped out. That's it, 192 kilometers per hour top out. I'm just going to do one thing. I'm actually going to turn on the regenerative braking. There you see it's on maximum. There are 4 levels for the same, and the most aggressive one is known as I pedal, which actually brings the car to a complete halt, to 0 kilometers per hour. There, I'm not even applying brakes. I actually have to get on the throttle, because this is electric vehicle. That instant torque rush is really very nice. And here I have left the accelerator and the brake, and you can see the car is decelerating. It's decelerating, it's decelerating, and it will decelerate to a point. It will come to a complete halt, 0 kilometers per hour. That is I pedal for you here, and hazard lights on all the way on the track. Comes to a complete halt. Let's do one thing. Let's actually turn this off. I pedal off, level 0, left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, and off we go. It accelerates with a lot of enthusiasm, I would say. And here you can see steering wheel is actually decent, yeah. So for a vehicle this heavy in terms of weight, actually the overall ride and handling is actually very nice. Now ride, I can't really comment. I do feel it's a bit stiff, but here on the track you can't really judge the ride of this vehicle. But handling is actually decent for an EV. It does weigh quite a lot, and this fake sound is getting to me, so we're just going to change it to stylish at the moment. Yeah, here we are, it's stylish. So every time I turn now, I can feel the car swinging right and left. So there is that amount of body roll, if I can put it that way. And overall steering feel is fine. Brakes are fine. Brakes feel better in that sport braking mode as such. And honestly, refinement levels and outright acceleration is brilliant. In fact, it goes till its top speed with a lot of enthusiasm. It doesn't bog down at all. It doesn't feel like, okay, you know what, it doesn't have any more enthusiasm left because of obviously there's so much grunt. There are dual motors. The front motor is producing I think around 100 PS. Okay, the standard rear wheel drive model will go from 0 to 100 km per hour in 7.3 seconds. It's going to be more cost effective in terms of pricing, but get the all wheel drive version because obviously better grip and more performance as well. 5.2 seconds to 100 km per hour is quick enough, and because there's that instant torque rush, you feel like okay, you're going to take off any moment. That is a level of, oh my god, this stylish thing is अलग ही level का अजीब. And regenerative braking works nicely. Obviously you've got multiple modes. What it does is it tries to put in some power back into the battery pack. Okay, I mean some amount of energy back into the battery pack, and that results in improving of the range, but very minutely. Now claimed range by WLTP is around 500 kilometers. It should definitely return more than that when you get ARI into the picture, but in the real world you will get around 400 kilometers or maybe slightly lesser as well. Now obviously I'm driving very aggressively, so I'm going to get even lesser efficiency from this vehicle, and this brings me to the whole tech of this car. First and foremost, this whole tech of this vehicle is made by the Hyundai Motor Group, in which Hyundai and Kia come and they both jointly develop the cars, right? That's fine. Okay, lane keep assist starts to work here. There are no lanes, so it can't be really seen. So basically what it does is the group, the Hyundai Motor Group, they jointly develop the cars, and then obviously Kia and Hyundai design it as per their liking. Now they have made this platform known as the EGMP, which is the Electric Global Modular Platform for electric vehicles, and trust me on this, it's absolutely fantastic. Okay, you know why? Because it's next level in terms of the way everything works. So regular EV cars have a 400 volt charging infrastructure, wherein you can do charging I think maybe till 100 kilowatt or maybe slightly more than that. This one on the other hand is another level only. So what you're going to do, we're going to stop here. I'm going to get into cyber. I don't even know what that is. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, revving the motor, and off we go. This car can actually charge other cars. The technology is known as vehicle to vehicle and vehicle to load. So basically it can charge another car, which is fantastic. Okay, how does it do that? This car is not just having incoming charging, it has outgoing charging as well, and they have used an inverter for which they have actually applied a patent. What it really does is that it ensures that this car is able to give electricity outward as well from its battery pack, and obviously it has a big enough battery pack, so you can actually go ahead and charge another electric car, but it's going to be very slow at 3.5 kilowatt. And then vehicle to load, there's this switch we can see where you can actually connect it to your microwave, you can connect it to your computer, laptop, all that. You can charge that as well. All the appliances can be charged as well. Fantastic, right? So this is a two-way thingy, which is amazing. Then it also supports 800 volt. So basically it has this charging capacity variation. So it is 400 volt also charging infrastructure and 800 volt as well. The result is that it supports ultra high speed rapid charging, which by the way is supported by very few cars like say the Porsche Taycan or maybe the Audi e-tron GT and all that. So this one can charge from 0 to 100% in, hold your breath, sorry, not 0 to 100%, 10 to 80% in just 18 minutes using a 350 kilowatt DC rapid fast charger. वो कहीं है नहीं इंडिया में. Okay, India doesn't even have 100 I think. But when you factor in the regular charger, I think maybe 50 kilowatt, then it takes approximately 73 minutes to charge from 10 to 80%, which is approximately 1 hour 13 minutes, which is decently quick as well. But in the real world, when you're going to charge it at home and all, this is going to easily take 10 to 15 hours for sure. Alright, onto the throttle. Okay, we're going to get onto the brakes. Yeah, that it detected a lane somehow. That's kind of nice. And here we're going to go to the throttle. The tires do screech. Traction control is on, but if I turn off traction control, the tires are going to go absolutely mad ballistic, screeching in absolute क्या बोलूँ मैं in protest, because obviously these tires cannot handle it even with all-wheel drive. That is the level of torque on offer, and that there's an instant torque and a continuous linear surge in power and performance, which makes this absolutely fantastic a vehicle. But then comes the pricing, which is definitely going to be on the higher side, because this is going to come to India via the CBU route, and that means that this is going to cost around 60 lakhs or so. Now this is obviously the twin of the Hyundai Ioniq, and compared to the Hyundai Ioniq 5, this one is more dynamic, more sporty, stiffer, and more I mean, say aggressive in terms of appearance. Meanwhile, the Hyundai Ioniq 5 again has the same battery, similar charging, everything is very similar as such, but that is coming to India via the CKD route, so it's going to be more aggressive in terms of pricing. So let's do one thing, let's change the sound as well. We can actually put a custom sound too. Maybe I'll put the one from an AMG car. That outright acceleration is amazing, but you get bored of it with time, because in terms of dynamic ability, in terms of feel of driving, electric cars are still not there, and they will not be there at all for a long time to come, or never actually. That's why I think the hybrid happens to be the future. However, most people will definitely want to buy this as a style statement because it looks good, it's very modern, has good amount of tech as well, and in that regard this is an absolute fantastic machine. In that price range, I think between 40 to 80 lakhs, there's nothing which offers this level of performance, because there's just this Volvo XC40 Recharge, which is all-wheel drive or front-wheel drive, and this is actually rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive as well. And then all-wheel drive performance, we all know it is needed for electric cars, otherwise electric cars will just not be able to put all that power down. We can do a brake test, should we? Yeah, that is the sound of the tires, and this thing starts blinking. The hazard lights start blinking as well. Battery is down to 69%. It says it's going, no, 68%. You know what? The battery range actually drops super duper fast when you're actually driving this on full throttle. When I was doing 192 kilometers per hour, I saw it is like depleting super fast. Let's do one thing. Let's actually change the mode of the vehicle. We get into eco mode, and now in eco mode, obviously things dull. This is for the best possible efficiency from this vehicle, and most people will drive like this when they're driving this car in the city, because that's what you really need to do, right? To conserve the battery, unless and until you have a DC fast charger. And 350 kilowatt is absolutely crazy. I don't think that's going to be there anywhere. What they've also done is, with respect to the battery, they have also used oil for cooling instead of water, resulting in the battery being slightly smaller, and then they have used a very high density cell, so that overall battery pack is smaller, and then because it's smaller they can place it lower down for better center of gravity. Lot of tech, lot of thought has been gone. Their first electric platform, the all electric platform from the Hyundai Kia group, is actually quite nice. I really like it, but I just don't like electric cars. I think they don't have the soul. This like fast, headache giving fast car, but you can go fast in an aircraft. And I say this all the time, every time, because of the heavy weight of the battery. Obviously you cannot really expect that dynamic ability, and then this fake sound now, it's not that nice. मतलब इसको जाके change कर देंगे हम लोग, and then on the go you have to be a little bit distracted to be able to change stuff here. So active sound design, I'm actually going to go and turn it off. Okay, now we have turned it off. Now you can hear and listen to the absolute silence of this machine. You can't hear a thing. That is a level of silence, that's the level of refinement which you would obviously expect from an electric car, and this one obviously delivers. But then driving this in normal mode makes no sense. We get into sport, onto the throttle, at any speed it just lifts the front and goes with so much enthusiasm. By the way, if I move the seat now, it shows me the display here also, so I think they have done a beautiful split display. Now we are obviously seeing charging data. By the way, this car has got ADAS functions, and a lot of them, it has got something known as safe exit assistance. So in case you're exiting the car and there's something in your line of sight which is going to hit the door, it will tell you mat karo beta, abhi mat karo. It's got lane follow assist, which means it is able to go through lanes, turns properly. It's just able to follow through. Lane keep assist is there. It has got adaptive cruise control, and then it has to have forward collision warning, automatic emergency braking, the usual bits which we see in most of the cars today with ADAS functions. I can't really test most of them here on the track because there's nobody else to actually go ahead of me. By the way, Kia says it has actually raised the ground clearance of this car for India. It's 178 mm. I'm not too sure if they have, but okay, look at that ADAS function working only here. Now when you have the start finish line with the markings for the grid spot, there is when the lane keep assist wakes up and says, let me help you out today. I did 193 kilometers per hour, which is by far the top speed which has been hit on this track in this car today. Yeah! By the way, the rear AC vents are on the side on the B pillar. There is none in the center. Bye-bye.
You did not do 193.
I did 193. I'll pause it. I'll blow that frame up. Who's the Formula One now? Can you shut the roll?